Hey, I'm Scott, and I am an American, now in Bangkok again. And, I want to go over the Umphang trip cost so I can tell everybody how much I spent. I left Bangkok on December 18th, and I got back on the 23rd. That's 6 days and 5 nights. And I pushed myself hard. That journey was a fairly difficult journey. It was a long road into one of Thailand's most isolated districts, a cold raft ride, but a pretty brutal trek through the jungle and uphill just to reach the remote camp and then to get to the waterfall. But when I tell people about this trip, some people have asked me, how much did you spend? So I'm going to break down the expenses for you. Now, this wasn't a luxury trip. It wasn't me going on vacation. It was a bit of an adventure, and sometimes adventure comes with a price, whether it's in baht, energy, effort, whatever. So let me just give you everything, what I spent, what I got out of it, and whether it was worth it. So the first thing is that I obviously needed to get to where I was going, and the transportation cost was an airfare from Bangkok to Mae Sot round trip. The reason I flew instead of taking a bus, first of all, there's no train unless you're going to go to Chiang Mai or stop somewhere else and then have to take a bus. So I just decided to fly. And also the bus, I've taken the bus before to Mae Sot, which is where you have to go. And the road is, it's 1,219 curves. It is fairly winding, and it's not the most comfortable trip. So I just decided to fly much quicker, faster, easier. And time sometimes matters. And I just wanted to get there and start filming and start doing things immediately. So I could have saved some money here, but the round trip flight where I chose my seats, 5,769 baht, 11 satang, and the taxi to and from Don Mueang Airport, it from my house via Grab, 397 baht to get there, and to get home, 340 baht. So all I would say is, if you really plan on doing this trip, I would say, listen to me, trust me. Fly there. You'll get there a lot faster, and you avoid arriving in Mae Sot already exhausted before your trip even begins. Now, the next part of the trip was going from Mae Sot to Umphang, 1,219 curves. And so I got a truck. The reason I got a truck was because I didn't want to go on a songtao that was full of people stopping and starting. And also, I wanted to be able to stop where I wanted to stop. I hired a private driver for the entire trip because I needed control on where to stop so I could go and shoot with my drone, and I can get lots of footage and how I can pace it. And a songtao or a shared truck would be cheaper, but you lose some of the flexibility, and I definitely didn't want to be riding on a songtao with 50 other people. So the driver was 5,000 baht, and I gave him, this is for the to and from, so 2,500 baht each way, and I gave him 500 baht in total as a tip. I gave him 5,500 baht, and honestly, it was worth every satang because I got to relax, I got to do what I wanted, I got to sit where I wanted, I got to shoot my camera however I wanted to do it, and we stopped a couple times. And so, what I was doing was making the road kind of the character, and I just wanted to enjoy it. I didn't want to have to be in a songtao or share it with somebody else. And I couldn't stop wherever I wanted if I did it that way. So anyway, the next part of the journey, the accommodation, and basically I paid 800 baht a night for the place where I was staying, Umphang Resort. 800 baht a night. I stayed for 6 days and 5 nights, so that was 4,000 baht. And it wasn't anything fancy, but it was clean, it was quiet, and it was right next to the river, maybe 20 feet from the river. It was perfect for me. Umphang as a town is not really built for nightlife or luxury. There is no nightlife that I know about. Maybe there's one or two karaoke's around there, but I didn't see any. But it's built for people who, they want nature, they want silence, and that's exactly what I got. Now, the food costs, and this is where things got a little bit tricky. On the plane coming over here, for whatever reason, I got a coffee. And you have to pay for the coffee. It's not like they just give you coffee. I was on a budget airline. I flew Nok Air, okay? Coffee's 100 baht. So I paid 100 baht for that. Then when I got to Umphang, I had another coffee for 20 baht. I went to 7-Eleven and I bought some food. I bought like chicken and hard-boiled eggs, and I got some yogurt. Altogether, I spent 513 baht. Now, the next day, I decided to go looking around for a guide. And I went to one place, went up the hill, and guess what? The lady came to me and said, no more. They finished. They weren't guiding anymore. So I found a guide, and I talked to him a little bit, and for everything, for the trekking, the rafting, the guide, tent, sleeping bag, and for the park fees, it was 3,725 baht, which is a pretty good price. I could have paid 4,000 or 5,000 easily. Now, after that, I went and had lunch. That was 220 baht. I had coffee. I had 2 coffees. That was 40 baht at one place, 35 baht at another. The next day was a day off again. I already had everything set up, but I had it set up for the 4th day. The next day was the 3rd day, and I went to a coffee shop, and I got 2 coffees, 150 baht. I went to 7-Eleven, and that was 135 baht for what I got. Then I went and had a 3rd coffee. Spending a lot on coffee. 40 baht for that coffee. Okay. Then the next day, I had an omelet. That was 60 baht. I bought a big bottle of water. That was 30 baht. And then I had some Ovaltine, and I got that at the campground. I got the water at the campground. I got the omelet at the campground, and the Ovaltine at the campground. And so all of that was 130 baht. I didn't really spend any money because I was busy trekking. I had a couple bottles of water on my own that I brought, but I finished those up. So when I got there, I got another big bottle of water. The next day, breakfast, Ovaltine and an omelet. Then when I got back, I went to 7-Eleven, and that was 185 baht. That was for more of the same. It was for yogurt, eggs. What else did I get? Chicken breasts, okay? And then I gave my guy, Deck, I gave him a 500 baht tip, which is decent, and I didn't feel bad about it at all, but I gave him the 500 baht. So then I had one day left. So the next day, I had food at this restaurant that I went to, and that was 120 baht. Then I bought some keychains, couple keychains for my kids, 100 baht. Food and espresso, I had breakfast, then I had lunch. That was 198 baht. Then I got a sandwich for the road. That was 178 baht. And then the driver took me back. And then I had to get a taxi back from Don Muang, which I've already said, that was 340 baht. To get there was 397 baht. To get home was 340 baht. So that total equals 21,484 baht and 11 satang, which is, let me see, if you divide it by 31, you're looking at about $700. and I'll put the exact number, approximate, just because the Thai baht is changing all the time. Last I looked, it was about 31.5. But 21,484.11 satang for the entire trip. That was for 6 days. So that breaks down to, I don't know, 3,500, 3,600 baht per day, including the trekking, including everything really that cost was the flights, the truck that took me to and from, and then the rafting and the trekking. So that added up to what, 5,800 plus 5,800 plus the say 3,800. So that's 9,600. Then you got the resort. That's 4,000. So that's about 13,600. And then everything else basically added up to, that was about what, 6,500 baht. That was for all the food and everything else. So the majority was spent on getting to Massot, coming home, and going through the park and trekking and rafting, all that stuff. And then a little bit was for coffee and food. So 21,484.11 satang. So that's how much it cost me. I'm sure you can do it for a little bit cheaper. You can do it for a little bit more if you really want. But that's what I spent. So if you figure somewhere between 18 and about 22 to 24,000 baht to go on a trip for that length of time, that's about what it's going to cost you. So that's all I have. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di leo jerken mai.